What's up everyone, Shirley here. We're back on the 9.1 PTR today, taking a look at a few things. There's some warrior buffs, a few system changes, and the big thing is we're going to take a look at some of the new Torghast features coming out today. I'm in the Rune Carver's chamber here, where this new little cube thing, reminds me of Kadala's cube from Diablo, is floating here, and this is the new talents that are coming out for Torghast that's level up as you progress in the floor to collect this tower knowledge resource that we're going to be using now. And I'm going to quickly just scroll over these, and you guys can pause the video if you want to read what each and everything does. But my first little bit of impression on this is these powers are kind of, to put it frankly, boring. They're all just percentage things. There's nothing really exciting in here. Sure, they're all good, but I was kind of hoping that these talents would be, you know, new and interesting abilities or features that you could get while you were in Torghast. You know, like, just off the top of my head, like jumping causes an explosion or something that damages things, rather than just, you know, you deal 15% more damage while empowered. That's one of the new mechanics that we're going to go over today as well. I just wanted to show you these things. I did go ahead and buy the first two of these ranks, and as you progress down each rank, so I've got one of three, the cost actually goes up. So it wasn't 80 to begin with, now there was that. So this one is only a one rank thing, but this, for example, is 40. I believe they doubled when I bought that, so that one should go up to 80 for the second rank. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jump into a run actually, because I do have a bit of a criticism, I guess, coming from the new Torghast system, which is basically a, how would you describe, a ranking system, I suppose. Blizzard is rating you on your performance within the Torghast run, and this is okay, I guess, if they wanted just like a leaderboard or something to see how, you know, good people could do it or how quickly. The problem is that it's tied to you unlocking the new floors that are in the tower. So I ran, okay, for starters, we've got these 4 new floors. I ran a level 8 earlier, and I did not unlock floor 9 because you need to get a score of 4 or 5 stars, gems are what they're calling them, from your run itself. And I actually got a 3-star run running 8 like normal. And that's actually where my criticism comes in, because, you know, I just want to level up to the next floor and finish it out like I would normally. Problem with that is that somebody at my gear level, you know, at the beginning of the expansion, I would clear out the entire thing at Torghast, especially when you're doing twisting corridors. But at my item level now, when I'm just doing this weekly to get my soul ash out of here, I'm just going to speed run this, ignoring most of the stuff in there, and going on my way. So this run here, I'm going to do like I normally would. I'm not trying to go, you know, super fast or anything. It's just efficient for me to clear, you know, what's in front of me and not go out of my way to get extra powers and everything, because I don't need it to kill the last boss. But we're going to briefly take a look. This is the new systems here. We've got this bar here. Streak is currently paused. This is the empowerment bar. You'll get a buff when this thing fills up, and it'll fill up from killing enemies, destroying vases, that kind of thing. And when it gets above this threshold, you'll get a buff called empowerment, which makes you glow blue, and it'll give you a few things. We'll get to that. And now this is the new system. You get torments later on in the tower as you go up in floors. These are just permanent things that are brought in, and as you get the next floors up, there are going to be more of these. You'll get 3, 4, etc. This first one we got here, when we're brought below 40% of our maximum health, you become horrified for 3 seconds. This can only occur once every 2 minutes. So it's a bad debuff. You just don't want to get, you know, in a sticky situation, because this is going to maybe get you killed. And then back up here is the final bosses are granted a add, basically, to assist them. And from one of the powers I bought, I've got this one blessing, so you get a beneficial thing as well. There's a 20% chance for non-elite or non-boss elites to die instantly. It's okay. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this first run here. I'm just gonna pick, you know, what I would normally do, and, you know, go about my way looking at the floor. So right off the bat here, like, I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary. I'm not gonna go ahead and kill all this stuff. Whereas their little rating system is actually kind of punishing me for doing this, it seems, because there's a clear percentage on the end of it. Oh my god, these shackles are annoying. Stop slowing me. And the clear system on the end of it gives you a rating depending on how much, stuff you killed. And there's also supposed to be a speed efficiency on it as well, and I get that they don't want to make it like a pure speed run, but for somebody that just goes for the last boss, basically, to get it over with for the week, because you're, doing this week in, week out, it's not very efficient, for me anyway. Maybe I'm going too slow, frankly, for their speed run metric, but it didn't seem weighted appropriately. And maybe I'll eat my words at the end of this run, and, I'll actually get a 5-star score doing it, which would be nice if it actually proves me wrong here, but like I said, I just ran it a little bit ago, and that's not the case, so, we'll see how it goes. I want to click the power, not loot things. Okay, we'll take that. Speaking of the Leap Quake ability, man, this slow is really annoying in this one. I really hope that they turn that into a tier set, since we're supposed to be getting tier sets in the next patch. That would be cool. Be like the Diablo Barbarian set that does the exact same thing. I'm actually going way too slow here now. So, as you can see, this is the empowerment bar that's filled up on the side here. Man, everything in here just slows you, which gives you this buff here, which is movement speed by 20% and 7% haste. It was 5%, I believe, or 4% originally. I got one of the powers off of the little level up thing that increases that just slightly, and you can rank that up a couple more times, I believe, which isn't, that big of a deal, but it's something. It makes you want to keep speed running, since it gives you the movement speed, and as you can see, the little bar will start to decay when you're not actually killing things. So you just, want to keep up a good tempo with it. On the last boss here, I'm gonna go ahead and kick that. Anyway, moving on to some of the 9.1 news. Sorry to bore you with Torghast if that's what you're here for. The Arms Warriors have actually seen a little bit of a buff. It's not huge by any means, especially if you're playing Venthyr, or plan on playing Venthyr going into the new raid. They haven't touched Fury this patch. Well, kind of. They said they did, but they didn't really do anything with it. But starting out, they have buffed Mortal Strike and Overpower your Deep Wounds damage itself, not the Mastery modifier, but the actual damage of Deep Wounds, and Execute by 10% across the board for all of those. The Execute buff, however, does not apply to Condemn. So, given that 40 to 50% of our damage as a Venthyr warrior is just from Condemn anyway, it's not that big of a buff for Venthyr, but it's definitely going to make, the other Covenants be more attractive options. So if you didn't like Condemn to, begin with, then, rejoice for that. What it does do, well, before I get to that, the Mortal Strike buff didn't go through. I'm gonna go with the Leap one because it's fun. The Mortal Strike buff didn't go through for PvP, so it's already a little bit gimped in PvP from the last tuning pass they did a couple of patches ago. So, I mean, I get it. It doesn't really need, or Arms doesn't really need any arena buffs or PvP buffs at the moment. The Execute one didn't go through to PvP, and neither did the Deep Wounds buff. However, the Overpower buff did go through. So what that means is Dreadnought just gets even better, and Crash the Ramparts, our Conduit, gets even more value, because this is all getting scaled, and it's getting scaled in PvP. So we got a little bit of love there, even as Venthyr, especially in Mythic Plus, it's just going to make it that much better for our cleave potential with Dreadnought. So that's good. But the 10% buff isn't huge by any means for for Arms Warriors in general. Oh my god. Oh, and your empowerment buff is pause during the broker levels, and as well as anytime you're at the beginning of a floor during the debuff or buff period, I guess, when nothing's happening when you first walk out of the floor. Another 9.1 news, the Mythic Plus PV or rating system. We're putting ratings on everything these days. Is getting added, which is basically just Raider IO's scoring system, except it's going to be built into the UI from Blizzard. We'll have to wait and see how they end up scaling that, if it's going to be, you know, exactly the same or close to the Raider IO scoring system. I imagine it will be. This, you know, I guess is a good thing. It keeps you from having to, you know, constantly update your add-ons for Raider IO. Moving on from that, they also updated a little bit of the PvP change to gearing. And we're going back to basically what it was like during BFA, in a way. And what I mean by that is the PvP gear is going to be upgradable still, as it is, but unlike what it is for the last season, it's going to be gated every week based on your rating of the week. So you have to win a arena each week in your current bracket to upgrade gear within that bracket, if that makes sense. And that's basically how it was during BFA, whereas you wanted like a duelist level piece of gear out of your box at the end of the week. You had to win a single arena within the duelist bracket to actually get that piece of gear. Otherwise, it would just be a base piece of gear at the bottom, even if you had, you know, the rating previously. So they're just making people play the ladder more, so you can't just sit on your rating the entire season to upgrade gear and cap out through other means, which is okay. I mean, this just makes more engagement on the ladder. I don't really see, you know, a downside to it, I suppose. Is going to stop people from just boosting a little bit more anyway, and then just sitting on the rating for the rest of the season, which is nice. Speaking of PvP, the slight Fury change that they did this week on the PTR wasn't really a change. They just changed the level requirement for the new PvP talent, Slaughterhouse, I believe is what it's called. Speaking of which, it is still exactly the same as it was before, and that means that Rampage is applying that healing debuff on every strike for a 60% healing receive debuff for 5 seconds, and you can keep it up all the time, basically. It's really strong, so yeah, I hope that stays in check. Otherwise, you know, Fury might be really good. I don't see it going live as a 60% healing debuff still, even though they haven't adjusted it yet. It just seems too good. But anyway, we're getting down to the end of the floor here. By the way, there's only 5 floors now. There's no longer 6 per wing. Here's the little add debuff boss thing. Fortunately, I didn't get any condemned damage for this. Just gonna wait a couple of seconds for Avatar to come back up here. Get cheeky Blade Storm proc. Actually didn't get very many good damage powers for this run, so this boss might actually put up a little bit of a fight. We'll see, though. But probably not. Because this is what I'm getting at. I don't really need that many powers, you know, when you're mythic item level, basically. So this is why I just kind of avoid most of the floors these days, and I don't expect this to change even at the higher floors, you know, the new up to floor 12 or whatever it is. I'm just going to do the exact same thing if I can, or rather, this is what it's going to come down to if you're capping out every week. The annoying part is getting the floors unlocked in the first place, so we're about to find out, you know, how well I actually did. Oh, that actually hurt. Go ahead and parry this. Alright, how'd we do? Once again, 3. So we got 3 gems out of 5. Completion, I only completed half of it, 52 points. Time taken, 50 points. I got 50 the last time I did this as well. Time spent in Hot Streak, which I assume is the empowered thing, 36 total. Reward is that 40 thing, so I believe that would be what our that new currency that we get at the end of the run would be. So once again, I clear this with 3 stars, just running it like I normally would, not really posing much of a challenge, and I don't unlock the next floor. So we're gonna go run back up here again one last time just to make sure that I'm not talking out of my ass and this actually doesn't work or doesn't unlock the floor. And lo and behold, it is still locked. So, yeah, I think they need to lax the unlock or the rating system, or at least make it just, you know, keep the rating system if they want it there, and have it, you know, progress the talent tree and level it up faster. You'll get more rewards that way. I get all that, but if you complete the floor as is, I think you should just unlock the next floor like it was when the expansion started, because this is just annoying to me, because, you know, maybe you have to go really fast or something. The waiting doesn't seem right. I imagine the most efficient way to do this now is just going to be to completely, fully clear every floor, which is just going to take more time just to unlock up all these floors, which you know, and then we're just going to get back to the same part during Layer 12, which is just me blitzing the last boss again. So we'll see how it plays out. Anyway, thank you for listening. If you've stuck around to my ramblings, that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you next time. Peace.